Hi, so welcome back to Pine Creek Music's review of an inexpensive Chinese violin. We're doing an addendum to this because I wanted to show you something. There were two issues. There were two issues in the initial review. The one was that the pegs were slipping. Well, one of the things we discovered was the winding. Hopefully you can see that if it's in focus. The winding on the strings was just willy-nilly everywhere. That doesn't help. that contributes to the problem. The other thing was we said that we needed better strings. We got some better strings, and we also thought that for this particular quality of violin, you really needed fine tuners on each of the strings, not just the high E string. So what we've done is we purchased 4 of these. We got black to match the tailpiece, and we got gold because we thought it stood out and looked nice, you know. You can get different colors. You can get silver and all kinds of stuff. The one that's on here is silver. We're going to take that off and replace it with this one, so you can kind of see how that works. And then we'll put the new string on, and I'll show you a better way to wind the string on in such a way that it helps alleviate the problem of slipping pegs. These pegs were slipping really badly before, and now they're not slipping at all. And the only thing we did differently was the way we wound the strings on. You probably can't see the black one in there, but they're nice and tight. They go from the inside out, so what they're doing is they're helping to pull the peg tight up against the headstock here. So that's actually helping reduce the slippage. This one here, it's a little hard to tell, but it's actually doing the same thing. And this one here is just kind of a mess. That's the high E string. We're gonna take care of that right now. So all we do with this is gonna be a little tricky to do, so I can show you clearly. First, let's take the. We're gonna take the high E string off. We'll just unwind this. Remove it completely. It's a little difficult to do with my left hand and backwards, but there we go. We got it loose. We come up here and try to do this so it's in focus. We'll remove it from there. There, we've got it. Let me show you something about these strings. They are these are D'Addario strings. These are the Ascente type. They come color coded is what I'm trying to say, so that you can match them up and you don't have a problem. There's a little chart here, and there's also another little code here which shows you, if you can see that, green, black, red, gold. So you can figure out which is which. The G is red, the D is gold, the A is black, and then you've got green. So now the cool thing about this is D'Addario actually recycles these strings. So you want to check them out. These were a reasonable price. I think I paid roughly $22 for a set. That's about what you're going to pay, $23, $24, somewhere in there. That was really good. For the 4 fine tuners, we got these. Well, sorry. They were less than $6, I believe, for the 4. We'll put links up to all of this stuff. We found these on Reverb. So I'll put this down for a second. Hopefully you can still see. And we'll this to, there we go, if I'm careful I won't knock it over. And these are actually pretty easy to remove and replace. Just unscrew the adjuster screw here, the adjustment screw, and there is a little kind of a nut thing on the top, and it slides out. And of course I get it stuck down here because I'm trying to do this in a very bad situation. Don't do it this way. Put it on a nice workbench with things down, so the pad down, so you don't scratch anything. Okay, and we'll take this one. You can see, hopefully that's in focus. So you can see it just comes out of the little hole, and all we're going to do is replace this one exactly the same way, just so that they all match. So we'll try to do that without destroying the instrument, if we can. You see that okay? Sort of okay. Alright, and so I'm going to take out the little adjuster screw here. That comes out. That's gold. In this case it's gold colored, so it'll look nice. And then there's a little teeny, see if you can, there's a little teeny nut there, which we're going to remove. That's what holds it in place. See how we took that off? Just a little nut, and we will slide that into the slot here. Put the nut back on to hold it in place, and it just has to be, you know, finger tight. It doesn't. You don't have to use tools for this. Isn't like you're going to be beating on it. Hope not. Hate to see a musical instrument beat upon. Yeah, and it's in place. And it's still got, you can, I'll show you a little better. You can see that it's kind of flopping around a little bit. But there's a slot there to put the string into. Before we do that, we'll put the adjuster screw back in, and we'll put it roughly in the middle. Again, this is a little difficult to do with one hand. Actually, there we go. And what we found is it's out of tune right now, but with these fine tuners here, you just have to get, you know, ballpark, you know, reasonably close with the pegs. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to try to get it zeroed in perfectly. Let's go down about, get it right about halfway. There we go. And then we'll put the string on. So let me show you how to put the string on in such a way that it helps with the peg slippage. So what we want to do with that. Anyways, it's pretty difficult to get an instrument of this quality dialed in exactly right just with the pegs. So you know, for an extra $6 you can make a small change to the instrument which has an incredible difference in how difficult or easy it's going to be to play. So we'll pull this down. We just put that little ferrule on there, and we'll come up. Now when we put this in the peg, actually it fell out of the other end, but that's okay. So when I put this in the peg, I have to kind of, normally what you do is you do the outside, outside, and then inside, inside, okay? You wouldn't, you do this string first, then this one, then this one, then this one. Now I haven't done that in this case because I wanted to take the other one off last to show you So what I'm going to do is okay, there's the hole that I'm going to put the string into. And so I'm going to pull this back just a little bit. I'm going to cheat here if I can. Where'd the hole go? There it is. Alright, so just take, now this is a color coordinated. See, this one's green. Color coded, not coordinated. Put this in the hole. Just the end of it in the hole. Up, I bumped it. Now I'm going to put this down for a second. But you'll get the idea. I'll just get it started and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got it started. And what I'm doing is I'm holding the string out to the side here. Okay? The reason I'm doing that is because I want to wind it I want it to be kind of pulling the peg a little bit. Okay? So as I wind this up, I'll get it up here. It's making a nice, I've got a little too tight here. It's making a nice, there we go, tight wind. Okay? And you'll notice there's no, I think I showed you before that the peg was slipping. You'd tighten it and it'd boom, go back by itself. Now it's not doing that at all. None of them are. They're all perfectly in there. And you just get the strings up here. There's a little, I think I told you before also, you want to try and get these strings with the little plastic guide that goes up under this. I'm going to have to loosen this a bit. Goes up on the bridge. There we go. And you just want to get it started. And it doesn't, you don't like center it, don't get it all the way up because it will tend to mute the string a little bit. So you want it kind of there. Hopefully that's in focus. Right there. Tighten that up. Bingo. Perfect. So so now, well, let's get it reasonable here. Alright. So this has nice sustain, so you can actually hear the note changing as I fine tune it. And they all work that way. Isn't that easy? I mean, that's like, so it's such a simple change. It makes the violin so much more playable. Of course you're going to do that. So this is definitely a buy. Now we've looked around. We're going to put a couple links up there. Some of them will probably age out, and you know, as the products get sold or whatever. But you should be able to find a violin of approximately this quality, maybe even a little better if you spend just a skosh bit more money. If you get into the $70 to $100 range, almost for sure you can get at least this good. And maybe better, and you might even get one that's already got the fine tuners in place. But why would you rent an instrument when you could do this? Now, granted, when a lot of those places, they offer rent to own. So when the time period's up and you've paid all that money, what you do is you turn in the violin you've been using. They give you a brand new one. So essentially, they gave you a loaner while you bought one, kind of on layaway. But why? It's still, so far I'm into this, let's see, $40.77 for the violin with the bow and the case. Came with strings, but throw those strings away. They're going to be garbage. Spent another $24 on strings, and we spent roughly $6 on the fine tuners. We're done. I don't need anything else. Wow. So, like I said, we highly recommend this. You know, get your kids involved in music before it's too late. You'll be glad you did. Thanks for coming by Pine Creek Music. If you get a minute, we're not selling these, but if you get a minute, drop by, follow our link to VH1 Save the Music Foundation, and throw them $5, will you? Thanks. Okay, so one last thing. I really like this violin, as you can tell. Wanted to show you, we're using the clip-on tuner that we sell. One of the things that you can use it for is guitar, bass, ukulele. It has 2 different ukulele tunings, and violin. And the way to use the violin, it's a clip-on. It's like, well, where are you going to clip it? Well, it's very simple. Clip it on the adjacent peg, and what we did was we just got close with the peg, and then we dialed it in with the fine tuner, and bingo.